This happened to my friend Justin back in 2022. He had just moved into a small apartment in Brooklyn. Nothing fancy, just enough space and cheap rent. The window in his bedroom faced another building with balconies across. A few days after moving in, Justin noticed something odd. Every night, around 11 p.m., a man would sit on the balcony across from his. He just sat there, in the dark, no smoking, no phone, just watching. At first, Justin thought it was a coincidence, but then it kept happening. Every single night. Same chair, same posture, same time. Justin tried ignoring it, closed the curtains. But every morning, he'd still get that feeling, like someone had been staring at him all night. Then came the sixth night. Justin stayed up late. Around 1 a.m., he finally went to bed. Just as he started to drift off, he heard it, a knock on his window. He lived on the 3rd floor. No ledge, no access, just a small balcony. Heart racing, he pulled back the curtain and saw the man standing on his balcony, staring right at him. Justin stumbled back and called the cops. When they showed up, the balcony door was locked from the inside. No signs of forced entry, no footprints, nothing. They said he probably dreamed it. Stress, fatigue. But the next morning, the man across the balcony was gone. A few weeks later, Justin ran into an older woman in the building. She saw him looking toward the other apartment and said, "You live across from there, don't you? That's where he used to watch from." Justin asked, "Who?" "Some guy, 5 years ago, always staring at people from that balcony. Then one day, gone. No one ever found him." She paused, looked at Justin, and asked, "You said you saw him?" Justin didn't answer. But from that night on, he never opened his blinds again. Sometimes, the scariest thing isn't a ghost or a monster. It's the neighbor who never blinks. My name's Alex. Back in 2022, I moved into a new apartment building in downtown Chicago. The place was affordable. With a decent view, my windows faced the building right across the street. After a couple of weeks, I started noticing something off. My neighbor across, a middle-aged guy named Mark, seemed way too attentive. Every night around 10 p.m., he'd be at his window staring out. It was like he knew exactly when I came home, when I left, what I was doing. One evening, I got home late. His window was wide open. I heard shuffling. He was writing something in a notebook, eyes fixed right on me. I nodded hello, but he just smiled this cold, empty smile and kept writing. Over the next few days, the feeling only got worse. I started noticing he knew exactly when I was alone, and then his behavior got even stranger. He'd sit at the window for hours, staring straight at my apartment, never blinking. One day, I noticed scratches on the hallway wall, like someone was trying to peek inside. I asked Mark about it. He said it was just from some repairs, but I felt like he was testing me. The scariest thing happened one night when I heard tapping on the wall. At first, I thought it was kids playing, but the tapping was too rhythmic and lasted way too long. I tapped back and the tapping stopped after about 10 minutes. The next day, I found a note slipped into my mailbox. It read, "I see you. You're not alone." I got scared and checked the building's security footage. There he was, Mark, standing by my door exactly at midnight. He didn't ring the bell or knock, just stood there staring. I called the police. Officers showed up and talked to Mark. He said it was all a misunderstanding, that he was just curious. But after they left, Mark stayed by the window for a long time, still watching me. I started fearing going out. Every move was under surveillance. And the worst part, I never understood why he did it. A month later, I moved out. But even now, when I see someone staring at me from a window, I think of Mark's cold eyes. And I realize sometimes the most dangerous neighbor is the one who always knows.
My name is Jenna. In 2021, I moved into a small apartment complex just outside Tacoma, Washington. It was the first place I rented on my own. Quiet neighborhood, nice people, decent rent. The only thing that felt off was the basement. The building had 4 apartments in my block, all connected to a shared utility basement. It wasn't in use, supposedly locked up, but it had vents running under every unit. I didn't think much of it until one night, I was sitting in the kitchen, working late, and I heard coughing. At first, I thought it came from outside, but the sound got louder when I stood up. It was coming from below me. From the basement, I grabbed the flashlight, went downstairs, and opened the basement door. It was cold, still, just pipes humming and the smell of damp wood. I convinced myself it was nothing. But a few nights later, the sounds came back. Only this time, I heard movement. Shuffling, creaking, like someone was walking beneath my feet. I talked to my upstairs neighbor, Mr. Lawrence. He lived there for over a decade. I asked if he'd heard anything strange. He just shrugged. "If you're hearing things down there," he said, "you're probably not the only one." That sentence stuck with me. That night, I set my phone to record. I left it on the floor near one of the air vents. The next morning, I played it back. At exactly 2:12 a.m., the sound of a door slowly creaking open. Then, footsteps. Slow, heavy, and finally, breathing. A low, raspy inhale. Then, a whisper. I swear it said, "Are you asleep?" I called the police. 2 officers came and followed me to the basement. It was empty. Just pipes, dust, old furniture. But in the back corner, they found a narrow gap in the wall where someone had removed the vent cover. Behind it was a small cavity just big enough for someone to crouch in. Someone had been hiding in there. The next day, I got a call from one of the officers. They had reviewed the surveillance footage from the basement entrance. At 1:47 a.m., a man had entered. A man named Randy. He used to live in apartment 1A directly below mine. Everyone thought he'd moved out, but he hadn't. He just switched units and kept a key to the basement. They searched his apartment. Inside, they found notebooks filled with detailed logs of people in the building. When they slept, when they showered, how long lights stayed on. One note said, "Jenna, 2:45 a.m., bathroom. Lights on 2 minutes. Quiet again by 2:55. He'd been listening to me for weeks. In the basement, under the floorboards, they found a sleeping bag, cans of food, and a headset connected to the vent system. He spent nights hiding under our apartments, just listening. I moved out within a week, changed cities, changed my phone number, but even now, when I hear a creak in the floor or a cough through the wall, I can't help but wonder if someone's still down there, just listening, waiting. Now it's your turn. If you have a creepy story, something terrifying, mysterious, or just plain unexplainable, share it with me. I'll tell it to the world, anonymously or with your name. It's your choice. Email's in the description. And who knows, Maybe next time we'll be hearing your story. Until then, remember, fear loves silence, but you can break it.